So you want to be a pilot? Be greedy. Flight training is an investment, and the payoff is a skill. Your spending in flight training should convert to a skill. Be greedy. Having a personal system can help you multiply your efforts exponentially and enjoy the process. Think of it as having a system guiding you to invest on what gives you higher gains. We're going to review this system in this video. This personal system will focus 100% on the things you can control as a student, so you can grow with every flight. The key components of this personal system are follow through, setup, and execution. Let's talk about follow through. Can you identify your mistakes and why you made them? What is the best way to avoid those mistakes again? What's working best for you? What are your strengths? Do you feel like you are missing anything? Are you avoiding anything, and why? As a pilot, it's important we can see errors, faults, and that we can figure them out ourselves. Just imagine flying in an airline and having the captain asking for support to passengers to resolve an issue with the aircraft or with the flight. It doesn't really resonate. We talk about AI replacing jobs. Well, AI may replace those who lack thinking skills, but it will never replace those who have thinking skills. Follow through is about becoming deeply conscious of cause and effect, because only then we can become the type of pilots who can be in command. Now, analysis and evaluation are deeply misunderstood. It doesn't matter if the results of your performance are good or bad. We have to look after cause and effect with rigor and without attachment to our feelings. And yeah, you better start getting rid of your ego and working on being humble, because you're going to need that as a pilot. Following through is about looking at the situation, the events, and your actions. Note that I didn't mention, well, how do you compare to others, or how do you compare to this cheat sheet, or how do you compare to really anything? Or it's also not about scores or assigning you a grade. What's important in this follow through is the questions we make. Now, discovering what are the right questions to make, what are the key questions to know exactly what to do next, is what matters. I call this follow through. Follow through is about understanding your flight and identifying, the changes you can make to keep making progress. Comparisons and scores are old school. Follow through is new school. Follow through is how we actually level up. To use follow through as a multiplier, you need to be very specific. That's why generic software and AI won't do it for you. Think about, if you think in generic terms, you may have a list of what you did. You may create a list of what went well. You may create a list of what didn't go well that is based on comparisons, that is based on somebody else's grade sheet. But if you just review what went well, what didn't go well, and what you did, you're going to just have a list without workable, actionable directions. To progress fast, you need the specific learning that will allow you to replicate what went well and to prevent the mistakes of what didn't go well. Because, I mean, it doesn't serve me to know what went well. That will just inflate my ego. But if I go deeper and seeking to answer, well, how can I replicate this? I want to be able to repeat this again. Well, now that leads to something you can rely on. And, and it doesn't really serve me if you tell me all the things I did wrong. That would just make me feel bad about myself and just leave me wondering. Or it may even make me feel fearful about that situation or making the same mistake again. It doesn't serve me. It doesn't serve me because it's not helping me prevent that mistake in the future. So see, follow through is results agnostic. It doesn't care if it went well, if it didn't go well. It cares about what, the actions that you can replicate and the specific things you will be looking at after in the future. To learn from your mistakes, from your victories, it's just a matter of having the rigor to follow through. I attribute all my soaring records as the results of following through with honest reflections and going deeper into my understanding of soaring. Each follow through will allow you to understand how everything connects just a bit better. Each follow through allows you to fine tune. Each follow through allows you to know what to do next in a way that is actionable. Now, to help you all with follow through, I've developed a bank of questions. These bank of questions will help you get access to deep learning and discover how things click together sooner. In flight test, we use technology to access flight information, to visualize it, and to process it faster. But it was us who translated flight information into understanding. This kind of follow-through allowed me to understand the aircraft we were testing at a very deep level, giving me insights to improve the product itself and our efforts. You want to solo sooner? Follow through from day one in flight training. To become the pilot you want to be, follow through, as if your aspirations depended on it, because they do. Follow through is the first key component of this personal system. The second key component is the setup. Following through is your biggest multiplier because it has a ripple effect. Following through elevates the way your next flight is going to be set up. Before following through, the flight setup was dependent upon your instructor's syllabus and lesson plans alone. Now, after following through, you are going to create an integrated balance between the master plan and your unique, micro goals. The second component of the personal system is the setup. This setup is all about preparation. And the point of the setup is to feed the learnings from any past reflections into prepping your next flight. Here is where the follow-through gets implemented. It's going to start to be implemented. A skill is not free. It requires follow-through and prepping for your next flight again and again and again. The FlyORKA app will help you follow through effectively. It is your dedicated app to learn more every flight for the sake of implementation so that you can improve faster. If you want to avoid wasting time in the air, follow through and set up to train intentionally. Separate consuming aviation content from active rituals that you will follow so that you can dedicate yourself to learn for the sake of implementation. If you don't set up, if you don't prepare for your own flight, execution cannot help you implement learning. Follow through, setup, and execution. Now, execution is all about being present. But without setup, you will be reacting, not present. Just think about how different your day goes when you have me time in the morning before starting your day versus letting the day take you for a ride. Very different. Very different, because having that me time to set up for your day is actually putting you in a position that will allow you to be present throughout the day and see how things unfold instead of reacting. Now, this can be uncomfortable because more than likely in flying or in learning anything new, really, you will suck in the beginning. And you have to be comfortable with seeing that. And saying, hey, like, great, I suck. and that's great, because that's the first step to doing anything right. And being great at anything, really, you have to suck first. Just do your best and forget how things are looking like from the outside. And I know this is difficult in the aviation domain because we have been told our entire life that the value we have as a pilot depends on our performance. But you know what? That's wrong. Sure, it's important to perform as a pilot. A lot of people rely on you. The safety of the flight relies on you. But your value as a pilot doesn't depend on your performance. That's a result of other things. The most important asset you can possess as a pilot is your criteria, which you can cultivate and grow each time you follow through. See, criteria is different than performance. Criteria actually allows you to perform and not the other way around. Criteria, like people see the flower, right? But they don't see what's underneath. They may not be interested, if they can't see the flower. But, so performance is the flower. But what's underneath that performance is criteria. And that criteria can grow very, very deep and have very, very wide roots and a very complex root system. Well, that criteria is what we are building each time we follow through. Each follow through will help you think in terms of situations, events, and actions, and less about you as a pilot, because honestly, we don't care about you as a pilot. We care about your actions, we care about the events, we care about how you can handle situations and in this combination, right? That's what makes a real pilot. not the pretty outfit. Now, train yourself to talk to yourself in useful ways. If you want to be a great pilot, learn to talk to yourself in useful ways by focusing on the actions you can take, not on scoring yourself. If you are always scoring yourself, you will always stay limited, because scores are designed within limits, because they have to compare you to something, right? By focusing on the actions you can take, you can keep growing, surprise yourself. Train yourself to talk to yourself in useful ways, because you are programming your brain. And the best part of this, if you are just learning to fly, is that you have a fresh flight control computer. Who wouldn't love to have a fresh brain to work with, where you could just put in useful things and good stuff in that brain? Wouldn't that be great if you were just given a fresh brain to work with? Well, as a pilot that is just learning to fly, you are given a fresh flight control computer. So use that opportunity to put in good stuff in there. Any sort of talk that's not useful must stay out of the cockpit. Otherwise, you will have a lot of bugs in your code, and it will sure crash one day, guarantee. And talking about crashes, like, your brain is a computer. You should monitor your flight control computer to keep it running smoothly. Your brain, you should monitor your brain patterns, your brain thinking patterns, your brain cognition patterns, however you want to call it. Before training, before execution, you want to do stuff to help you feel ready, agile, and focused, but not too much to become tense, tired, anxious, or overreacting, losing calculated action. You know, when you exceed your espresso caffeine intake limits, you just become this person that is going by the day without calculating actions. What I am talking about here is the stress to performance curve. You can find that your optimal zone to execute requires a healthy stress level. But when stress becomes too high, well, performance crashes and it's no longer effective. The reason why I started talking about self-talk in the beginning of this third component, which is execution, is because one of the easiest ways to cross the line and crash is devaluing yourself with negative self-talk. That's the easiest way to help you crash. So why will we do it? Why will you do that to yourself? Once you acknowledge that your worth is not based on your performance, you can get rid of the unnecessary stress that such belief puts on your shoulders, and create more space to simply go out there in the world and make the most of the day, and make the most of the aircraft, and make the most of yourself and whatever energy you have that day. Nutrition, hydration, exercise, rest, and self-talk are 5 subjects not taught in flight school that will affect you the most in the air, because they affect your ability to respond quickly, appropriately, and effectively. And for execution, if you want to get very, very good at execution, these 5 subjects, you will want to have them under your belt. I know a lot of you already love these topics, so keep getting very good at them. It's something that you may not see on the surface, but oh man, when you see pilots fly with grit, when you see pilots fly with precision, you know they are in the zone. They know they are managing their stress, and they can bring the right amount of excitement into their flying that gives them this magic combination that makes them, well, great. To unlock your potential, prepare your body for execution. So think about flight training. Yeah, we're training all these aspects, but for execution, think about preparing the body for execution. Follow through, setup, and execution are important because they get rid of this I don't understand blocks your memory. Or the setup is going to get rid of the I don't know what to do next. The I don't know what to do next kills progress. I don't know kills progress. Get rid of that with setting up. With the personal system, you have a system that is methodical, specific, and that you can repeat. And what I like about this personal system is that this specific personal system, the follow through, the setup, the execution framework are 100% in your control and give you the structure to continue to progress regardless of whatever shit you get, you know? Like, are you going to get like the bad instructor? Well, who knows? Maybe there is a probability. Are you going to maybe get the flight school that has the bad luck of having a chaotic schedule? Well, who knows? Maybe not. But this personal system allows you to take care of the things that are 100% in your control and keep making progress regardless of what's happening on the outside. It all starts with follow through. And FlyORKA is here to help you understand everything you need to understand to have a growth practice, because I want to see you surprise yourself with what you can do or achieve. There is really no limit but what you can do for yourself. The FlyORKA app will help you turn this personal system into habits, and habits into the pilot you want to become.